Welcome back. Do remember you can find all our top stories on our website. The Niger Delta Development Commission has provided more basic amenities to some communities in Rivers State. Well, some of the projects commissioned by the Commission is the Abuloma Landing Jetty, Okirika Waterside Road and Rumuwoji sites. While speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the Rivers State representative on the board of the NDDC, Mr. Ephraim Eteteowo, says that the projects are expected to enhance the economic base of the community.
This is the Abuloma Landing Jetty, one of the projects of the NDDC. This jetty is expected to facilitate transportation from Abuloma to Okirika and other communities within the area.
For the glory of God, the Abuloma Landing Jetty was built by the Niger Delta Development Commission and commissioned today by Chief E.S. Eteteowo, the Rivers State representative on the board of NDDC.
We are very much grateful for this project that you've done for us, and we appreciate it.
From the Abuloma Landing Jetty, the Commission moved to the Okirika Waterside Road, which also serves as a link road to other communities.
One thing is for us to construct the road. The next thing is for us to maintain the road. We can damage the road by ourselves, because as we have come here, we have seen a lot of sand and stones being put here. And as you use the shovel, because what is done here is the pavement, concrete pavement. When you continuously use shovel to keep scraping and scraping and scraping, you damage the road. And in short a time, you find out that you cannot make use of this road again. For the benefit of the community and also to the glory of God, we do this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
All in efforts to fast-track the development of the Niger Delta region, the NDDC did not stop at road construction and bridges. These solar-powered street lights in Rumuwoji community are also the Commission's projects.
Many people now sell at night, mostly those women that fry yam, other things at night, selling fruits. They enjoy it. The
NDDC may have done its part in providing these basic amenities. Many say their protection and maintenance depend on the various communities.
Apart from emphasizing equality before the law, imbibing integrity as a way of another subject dear to the Vice President. To this end, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has asked Nigerians to go beyond mere complying to a set of rules in the name of practicing integrity. Professor Osinbajo expressed this view at the 3rd annual Christopher Kolade Lecture in Lagos. Other important personalities who spoke at the event include the former Nigeria's High Commissioner to the UK, Dr. Christopher Kolade, convener of the event, Mr. Soji Apampa, and entrepreneur Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika.
The arrival of Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to this event perhaps underscores a critical point of the current administration's core ambition of fighting corruption. It's the 3rd annual Christopher Kolade Lecture on Business Integrity, and on this edition, the conversation has been tagged Beyond Compliance, Imbibing a Culture of Business Integrity.
Integrity is something that is meant to be natural to human beings. And therefore, for those people who practice anything contrary to integrity, they're actually betraying their own nature and creating a new, different nature for themselves.
It's not so much of code of conduct and religiously following rules. The Vice President believes integrity is as much as an accepted standard as it is an aspiration, that is, imbibing a higher moral code.
However, while it's a truism that where there are no rules, there can be no infringements, it's equally indisputable that the magnitude of integrity displayed by members of a given society or business undertaken is not necessarily reflective of the copiousness of regulation. What is decisive is the extent of commitment and compliance.
On their parts, the panelists on this occasion, accomplished in their fields, also add positively to the narrative.
When we start blacklisting companies for corrupt actions that they're sanctioned for, such that even government doesn't do business with certain companies because of certain things that they have done and they have been found to be culpable. Then we're sending the right signal that we're ready for business.
And if we want things to change within our environment, I think that we need to go back to the basics and set out the values. What are the real values? What do we want to achieve as a people? What do we want to achieve as a nation?
The higher call beyond compliance is actually to have integrity for a higher purpose. For example, integrity in order to ensure national development, in order to ensure that more Nigerians are pulled out of poverty.
There is a critical connection between business integrity, social responsibility, and social justice, which daily requires that we all resolve ethical dilemma. How they are resolved is what determines the social ecosystem we want to build. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
And time for business news now with Adeshawa Josh.
First Bank. You first.
Good evening. Welcome everyone to Business News. I am Adeshawa Josh. The passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill by the former members of the House of Representatives is being greeted with some concerns by industry operators. Austin Navuru told Channels business correspondent Temple Ashadu on the sidelines of a CEO's meeting in Lagos that it is impossible for the bill to be passed into law within the next 1 year, as certain aspects, including the benchmark price of crude oil, has to be reviewed.
My personal view is that it is unlikely that the PIB or any version of it will be passed into law in the next 12 months. The reason being that there are new realities today, both in the industry and within our economy, that make some sections of the old PIB now irrelevant. So there's still more work to be done. I don't expect the PIB to become law in the next 12 months.
Do you want to mention one area or just to state an example?
The pricing. We're designing the PIB at $100 oil, and we're looking at $80 thresholds as the bottom threshold for oil price. Today we're dealing with $60 oil. So those assumptions have become completely out the window. And a few other things, the downstream, the difficulties we're now seeing the downstream and oil supplies, those have to be addressed. Those were not addressed in the old PIB. So the PIB as we knew it, circumstances have changed, and I expect that what we saw or what we were dealing with a year ago will have to be jettisoned for some more work in the next 1 year or so.
Meanwhile, crude oil traded with little change today as investors focus on the possibility of an end to the Greek debt crisis. Brent crude for August delivery was up 19 cents at $63.90, that's 39 cents a barrel, after ending the previous session down 29 cents. U.S. crude for delivery in August slipped 6 cents to $59.64 a barrel, having shifted 57 cents lower in the previous session. Fidelity Bank PLC says it will continue to support trade and investment between Nigeria and the Netherlands, even as the nation awaits possible changes in government policies. Speaking at a luncheon of the Nigeria-Netherlands Chamber of Commerce in Lagos, the managing director of the bank, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, welcomes the intentions of members of the chamber to increase investment in all sectors of the nation's economy, as it has done with the volume of trade.
Established in 1978, the Nigerian-Netherlands Chamber of Commerce contributes so much to Nigeria's economy, with trade volumes eating around 7 billion euros per annum. This luncheon, supported by Fidelity Bank PLC, a financial institution that supports entrepreneurs in Nigeria, brought together members of the chamber to deliberate on how both countries would adapt to the likely policy changes expected to come with the new administration. Renowned economist Mr. Bismarck Rwani presented a business and economic outlook for the year 2015-2016 to the audience.
First of all, taking care of the outstanding areas we're dealing with, the adjustment to come means that we will have to rationalize the headcount and the productivity across the country.
While the chamber hints at plans to foray more into investment, Fidelity Bank PLC promises to always be there to support every kind of business between the two countries.
We are now moving actually to put our members in clusters. We're also looking at how to increase mentoring within the chamber because many members have a lot of experience. Some much younger members don't have quite the large number of the length of experience others have, but they can learn.
Business is on the increase. There's huge interest from Dutch companies doing business with Nigeria. There's interest from Nigerian companies doing business with the Netherlands. But what we now need to focus on is actually see if we can get more Dutch investment in Nigeria.
That's a welcome development because what it means for the country is that the confidence of foreign investors is not waning. Instead, it's improving. The successful election we had was a very positive thing for Nigeria. Everybody we spoke to out there between yesterday and the day before, all they are saying is now they are confident that things will be stable. So we as banks, what we will do or what we continue to do is to facilitate this trade and investment.
Sectors in which the Nigerian Netherlands Chamber of Commerce hopes to invest hugely include agriculture, education, infrastructure, and alternative power. Henry Ogunjimi, Channels Television News.
Interbank lending rate is to an average of 6% on Friday from 15% last week, thanks to increased Naira liquidity from monthly budgetary allocations to government agencies. About 220 billion Naira in budget allocations to the 3 tiers of government was injected into the banking system, boosting liquidity and forcing down lending rates. However, traders say in spite of the mopping up of about 203 billion Naira through sales of treasury bills and open market operations, net credit of 160 billion Naira in matured treasury bills was injected back into the system. Equities shed more gains on the last trading day of the week as the all-share index lost 0.81% to close at 32,853.49 points. Christy Cole has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Markets Report. The Nigerian bourse closed sessions for the week in the red, losing 0.81% to bring the all-share index to 32,853.49 points. Nestle tops the gainers list, appreciating 41 Naira 20 kobo. 7up is next with a Naira 90 kobo share price gain, while Ashaka Cement gained 1 Naira 10 kobo. On the laggards list, Guinness Nigeria shares shed 5 Naira. Dangote Cement lost 4 Naira 15 kobo, while Nigeria Breweries shed 1 Naira 99 kobo. Now on the volumes table, Julius Berger tops the trade with exchange of 136 million shares. Wapik sold 35.5 million units, while Access Bank sold 26 million shares. When the closing gong rang for the day, 335 million shares had been exchanged in 3,462 deals for 9 billion Naira. And that's the Stock Markets Report. I am Christy Cole.
Thanks a lot, Christy. Well, that'll be all on Business News tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
First Bank. You first.
Next on the news at 10, Andy Murray faces difficult route to Wimbledon final as Joe Wilfried Tsonga, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer stand in his way. That's in sports news. Stay with us.